the end of the day, the two most valuable resources for everything you want in your life, it's not complicated. Emotional states, energy, that's it. Think about it. If you don't feel good, how are you gonna enjoy this thing we call life? If you don't feel good, people don't wanna be around you. And not to mention also, if you don't feel good, how are you gonna stop yourself from saying things you know you shouldn't be saying? It's almost a cliche. Oh, I should have said this, I should have said that, but that's because you're not addressing the core. That's where all the concepts you're getting from the books, videos, maybe even your counselor, you got some great concepts, but no ability to execute. When you can control your emotions, that is the foundation for that. Again, making everything very simple here. So the reason why you've probably looked back at your life and said, wow, things are not going the way I want, that's because you've never addressed the core before. But when you feel fantastic, that gives you all the odds in your favor to actually execute in the way that's gonna behoove you and your relationship. But at the end of the day, when you feel great, you're just good. And that's what everyone wants. So let's keep things simple here. But any process you're gonna do to resurrect yourself, your relationships, and your life has to start with that foundation. It does not matter what you know. All your concepts go out the window as soon as you feel fear, sadness, anger. As soon as you feel that stuff, what good are your concepts? They're worth nothing. So it does not matter what you know, it matters what you can do. And if you can't control your emotions, you effectively know zero. Any process you're gonna do to work on your relationships and your life needs to address at the core. Number two, energy. Energy is the fuel for everything you're looking for. How are you gonna make your dreams come true? How are you gonna make your relationship to the next level if you don't have any gas in the gas tank? Does that make sense? But that's not a concept, that's a skill, that's a conditioning. And by the way, on that note, a lot of people talk about mindsets and beliefs. That's not really what they're looking for. If you think about it, how are you gonna have a mindset when you feel like shit? How's that gonna work out? Your ability to execute is a conditioning, it's the way you feel. The conditioning is actually what allows you to execute a mindset or execute a belief. Beliefs and mindsets alone, without the conditioning, without that energy, without that fuel, they're worthless. So at the end of the day, what everyone really wants is a conditioning. And again, that's a skill, that's a process, that's not a concept. And that's why the people that work with me, my clients that do the Refocus on Happiness program, they're good either way. Hey, some people get back together with exes, some don't, and most of them don't even want that person back. But when you feel great, it's a whole different level, not just for your relationships, but for your entire life. So let's kind of close up here. Two most valuable resources, energy and emotional states. When you feel great, you speak great. When you feel great, you just execute at a completely different level. That's what makes all your techniques actually executable. And if any of you are dealing with stuff where you're trying to get, a job back, a business back, relationship back, you first have to get you back. And again, to get you back, that's conditioning. When you get you back first, and you're now at this level, people want to line up with you. Think about it. A lot of you are dealing with breakups, and you're kind of in a rut, you're in a fog. No one wants to be around you. And the decision to be in a relationship is an emotional decision. It's not logical. You can't take a PowerPoint presentation and say, oh, you're going to want to be around me because of A, B, and C. It doesn't work like that. People either want to be around you or they don't, based on how they feel when they're around you. So if you have a relationship that's not going so well, you can have all the concepts in the world, but if you're not enjoyable to be around, good luck with that. That's not going to work out very well. You can have all the best qualities in the world, but if someone doesn't enjoy their experience with you, that's not going to work out too well. But to get yourself back there, you can't concept your way there. That's a conditioning. That's your ability to control the way you feel, okay? So again, I'll kind of close on this note here. Steve Martin has a great phrase. He says, be so good at what you do, people cannot ignore you. I'm going to show you I'm going to make it so obvious what is available to you when you actually finally address the core. And by the way, on that note, again, this is a biological process. It allows you to rewire, recondition your brain like you recondition a muscle. I got doctors to do my program. Why do you think that is? A lot of you might have heard the idea of neuroplasticity, brain cells that fire together or wire together, but this is a true practical experience allowing you to recondition, rewire your brain like you'd recondition muscle. Same thing. And again, it allows you to keep moving at higher levels. But anyway, so bottom line is, that is what addresses the core. That's what allows you to take your relationships and your life to levels you ultimately want to go. Anyway, enjoy. I'm going to make this so obvious for you in the end part of this video here, where you see a bunch of people that are just like you, same situations. At the end of the day, no offense to you guys, but your situation is not as unique as you think it is. You have a brain that is capable of incredible things if you give it the right process, the right condition, the right stimulus. You have no idea what you're capable of. And again, at the end of the day, everything you've done is because you want to feel a certain way. But to feel a certain way consistently, that's a conditioning process, and that's why you're going to want to address the core. So enjoy the video. Talk to you guys soon. Take care. Go to refocusonhappiness.com. What you want to do is you want to click the button at the top, contact Lance. Very, very easy form. When you go there, you'll put your name, your last name, your email address, and your phone number. And I will get in touch with you in just a few days, okay?
Just be a little patient. I got a lot of people I work with, but I'll get in touch with you in 72 hours maximum. But after you do that contact Lance link, feel free to scroll around here. Again, Steve Martin has a great phrase. He says, "Be so good at what you do, people cannot ignore you." If you scroll down, you'll see testimonials from psychologists, doctors, zillions and zillions and zillions of past clients, including medical directors, et cetera, et cetera. So, like I said, I'm making this so obvious for you, what I represent for you, what I believe. The only reason you would not do this is if you're a glutton for punishment. So yeah, feel free to take a good look around. Again, I'm gonna make it very clear what I represent for you if this is something you're serious about, okay? Awesome. Look forward to speaking to you soon.
It's about trust in yourself. And here's the way to bring it down to the most basic level. Once you know what you want, just repeat this phrase to yourself every day. You ready for it? I don't care what you say, I care what you do. Yeah. That's awesome. That's very exciting. As soon as you say it, I'm going to believe you. As soon as you show me something different, I'm going to believe you the very first time. That's it. You make it simple. Not so complicated.
I was sick and tired of hurting, and I needed to change. I had to physically, mentally, and emotionally change quickly, or it wasn't going to be pretty. And so you and I talked, and we started that night, and it's been nothing but an uphill, amazing journey to the top of the mountain to look around and say, I feel pretty damn good.
A fun question. I don't think I've ever asked this one before. The first time you and I spoke, did you think I was crazy? Did you like, this guy's making too many promises? Like, I don't know, what were you thinking the first time you spoke? And I told you what was in front of you here. Like, what was your...
Well, I mean, I definitely thought, I was like, really? There's a lot of promises going on there. And looking back, I mean, that I took a bit of time. There were some reasons behind that. I had a house move that fell through, but finances and stuff like that. But I wish I'd done it sooner. I mean, but I know there's no mistakes, and
there are none.
Connect with up. But no, I mean, definitely, I thought it's just because it was just so random. I'm not big on Facebook, but it sort of came into my whatever. Your marketing must be great, and it came in, and I was like, all right, okay, that's it seems amazing, and it was just taking that leap, and I wish I'd taken it earlier. So certainly, if I had my time again, so to speak, even though there's no mistakes, I would have done it. I would have done it a bit earlier, but it's been great. I think it's the simplicity. There's a lot of hard work. There's a co-creation which you ask of us, asked of me, which I don't know if you fully understand. I don't know if I fully grasped initially, but you grasp it pretty swift. After you had a couple of calls with you, and you sort of like, well, are you doing the work? Are you doing what I told you to do? But it is nice that it is everyone's on different levels. I was really, when you spoke to me the first time, I mean, I was borderline suicidal. Bleak times, and tried all of the usual methods that I'd tried before, my coping mechanisms, and all of the other courses that I'd been on, and thought, and did the usual bullshit, if I'm allowed to say that, of talking to people for hours and talking to, and it doesn't do a thing. I mean, other than just perpetuate the misery in some respect. And then so now this process that I sort of seems so simple, and it is in its sense, but you must do it, and it's almost unreal how it sort of affects you. And it'll affect people in different ways, in different stages, depending on where they are when they start the program, of course, and for whatever reason they're doing it for. But it works, man. It works. I don't know what you want me to say. It works. So, but I think although it's for a lot of people, I still think it's quite a personal a personal journey that you go on. You know, even though like I know that we sort of have a group chat and we have, you know, I know that we talk one-to-one whenever it's needed.
Rich, would you agree? It's simple, but it's not that simple. Don't make a mistake. Anyone listening to this here, don't think you can do this by yourself. Like you need to have the back and forth.
Like,
the complexity of the execution. You need to have a guide to actually show you how to do it for real. Don't think it's that simple.
No, like I always had a boost because you start and you watch the videos and you have a rough idea, and then you get on a Q&A with you, and then always the next session, next practice, what I would call it, I used to call it LM practice, the next Lance Mikkel practice I would do the next morning, would always have more impact because you'd have explained it and you'd have moved us along that 10, 15, 20%. The results are pretty swift. But I think there's also a part of the co-creation, not just to do the practice, which is obviously really important, but the boost as well, which is the diet, of course. But I think it's advisable to look after yourself during that time. I know that it promotes physical health. It's pretty bulletproof, you know. You know you're gonna, you know, it's life, right? You're gonna get challenges. You always come back to. You've got this tool for life, but that seems like really odd for somebody to be watching this and be like, I don't know what it means, I don't know what. But it's like it's a practice, a ritual practice that you can develop. Like you would develop anything. Like you give the analogies of going to the gym. Like you, any skill or any conditioning, it's going to get better with time, and the challenges are the workouts, of course. But and I've noticed that, and I think that's the bigger thing. I think it's almost. I wouldn't say you welcome challenges, but I sort of do. I sort of do, because you know you don't, because they could be painful or whatever. But you know, there's good challenges and there's bad challenges. But I sort of welcome the good challenges now, and I think it's made me far more robust mentally, and just I get more peace at the simpler things in life. I don't worry so much. I just don't worry. So I don't worry. I mean, I just think 2 minutes is too long, baby. You know, I just think, well, so yeah, I mean, I'm from where I was to now, it's sort of, it's pretty, you know, I mean, you know, friends and family and stuff would be like, you know, you're still going to have your challenges. You're still going to have that, but man, where I was to where I am. So yeah, I can't. Yeah, thank you very much. You know, appreciate it. You know, and it is our work, but it's your vehicle and your guidance. You know, but no, it's been great, and I've, you know, if anyone's watching this, you know, do it because, you know, it works, man. It works. It's better. Stop spending money on nonsense where you just watch hours and hours of videos of stuff that doesn't actually change, or reading books, and you know they're all good, but this actually works, changes you, and builds you something it builds something for the future, which you can build on and get better and better and better. Which I think that's the real gift. I think that's the real gift, that you sort of let us go when we're ready. You let us go and you go right off, and yeah. You know, I just think it's great, and I'm sure that everybody who I witnessed on the course, who graduated before me, or you know, the videos that I watched, you know, you could see the positive impact physically, the positive impact on their face, and I mean, you can't make that stuff up, you know. You know,
it'd be hard to.
It'd be pretty hard to, right?
It'd be hard to do.
Yeah, so. It's been great, man. It's been, you know, it's a shame that it has to come to an end, but like
well,
you always say,
but remember that's the whole point. Like you don't want to work with, you don't have to work with someone forever. You know, you don't want that.
No,
you know,
yeah.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
But no, but it's the start of the beginning, right? So
yeah, it's just a new chapter, but it's the same
book. That's it, man. That's it.